Remember when affordable makeup meant everything was under $10 and mid-range was like $20-ish? Well, unfortunately, those days are mostly gone, and even some of our budget go-tos that we could really count on have been raising their prices recently. And yeah, I'm talking about e.l.f. But let's be honest, we all know that there's a difference between inexpensive, which we love, and just plain cheap, which we're trying to avoid, because even makeup that doesn't cost a lot is a waste of money if it doesn't work on our skin. Fortunately, there are still a couple of ultra affordable brands out there that make really good makeup, and Essence Cosmetics is one of them. So today I'm putting on mostly a full face of Essence Cosmetics using some brand new products to me that are going to be first impressions and some old favorites to see, can we still find great makeup for our mature skin without breaking the bank? All right, let's get into it, because the only way to know if it works is to get it on your face. I'm going to start with the Jelly Grip Hydrating Primer, and I'm hoping it's not a mistake because of the foundation I'm going to be using. This wasn't my first choice for primer, but the other Essence primers that I have are no longer available on the website. So I'm not exactly sure what's going on, but Essence seems to be going through some stuff because some of their categories are pretty skimpy, including foundation, which I'll talk about in just a minute. So I'm not sure in these summer months if the hydrating primer with the foundation I'm going to be using is the best choice, but it's the choice I have right now. And it might be okay, because when I used this foundation, it was wintertime and it was a little drying. I'm also going to be using a blurring primer on one side of my face, but the two Essence primers that I have that say they're blurring, one of them doesn't blur, and the other one is super fragranced. And the other thing is, neither one of them are available any longer on the Essence website. What I am going to use is the Wet n Wild Impossible Primer Blur Stick. At least it's still another one of those ultra affordable brands, even if it's not Essence. I'm only putting this in the center of my face where I have some enlarged pores and I'm a little more oily. And I'm just going to press that in real quick. And the reason I wanted a little bit of blur is this foundation stick. Like I said, back in the winter, I tried this a couple times and I wasn't sold. But I have a new powder. I'm going to try a little bit different application method, and I'm willing to be wrong about it. Now, one mistake that I made when I was using this before is I think I used too much, and it just didn't blend well, gave me polka dot pores, and looked a little heavy and cakey. So rather than swiping it on my face, which is what I did before, I'm going to put some on the brush here and blend it in that way. It's a little bit light. The shade is 140, and it seemed like that would be a good shade, but it's a little light. That's okay. I've got a bronzer. We can make it work. And if I actually get it to work, then, I might consider getting it in a deeper shade. Speaking of shades, it comes in 43 shades. It's vegan, oil-free, does not contain alcohol. It, however, does contain fragrance. It's not a heavy fragrance, but you can definitely tell it's there. So if you're sensitive to fragrance, you'll want to watch out for this one. I'm also going to take my dampened beauty sponge and just pat over that to help it meld into my skin a little better. All right, I'm going to check in my 10X mirror and see what this looks like. It actually looks okay right now. So let's get it on the other side. I do wish the shade was better. It's easier to tell if you like a foundation if it's actually the right shade. By the way, the reason I'm using this right now when I really didn't like it before is because it's only one of two foundations that Essence has on their website right now. There was this one and then a mousse foundation in a pot, and I just didn't want to use that one. Whew. I'm looking a little ghost-like. And now the sponge. Apparently there is a Silky Blur foundation that matches the concealer and powder that I'm going to be using, but it's not on their website and it's not on Ulta. So I don't think you can get it in the US right now. And they've discontinued my beloved 16-Hour Cover and Last Powder Foundation, which I'm a little salty about. Essence recommends applying this with their buffer brush, which is a flat top kabuki style brush. I don't have one of this clean right now, so I used this one. It's the 170S from T.O. Y'all on Amazon. Love this for a foundation brush. and I think it did okay. I am not going to build this up. I'm going to just leave the coverage as it is, because I think if I get too much, that's when I run into problems with it. Moving on to concealer, I have the new Silky Blur Hydrating Longwear Concealer. This comes in 20 shades, and I have it in shade 80. It has a skinny, flat doe foot paddle, and this is the shade that I have. Thankfully, it is cool toned. It also might be a little light on me, but I'm going to leave that on the back of my hand because I'm going to apply it from there. And I'm going to use the TINAH15 concealer brush to put this on. I'm just going to pick up a little off the back of my hand and dab it in. It has that angled shape, and I really like using it to put on concealer. I think I'm going to use this for my eyeshadow primer as well and just go over the eyelid. So I've mostly got it blended out with that. I'm going to come back and finish up with my fingers when I get the other side done. That's very brightening. As I said, it might be just a little too light for me. It's very creamy, and it does feel hydrating. So we'll see if that hydration causes it to crease or not. I'm going to take my sponge once more, blend those edges, and pick up any extra product that might be wanting to sink into my wrinkles. So far, I really like the way that looks. I'm going to let it just sit there for a little bit while I move my face and do a few other things before I set it, because that way it can move around, settle if it wants to, and I can tap it out. Now that I have my base on, I'm going to hydrate my lips with this Super Peptide Glossy Lip Treatment. This is in the shade 04 Coralized. It's actually quite pigmented. I was surprised by that. But you could use this as your lip for the day when you're done. However, I mostly keep it on my vanity here and use it for hydration while I'm getting ready. It's thicker than an oil, but it's not sticky like some glosses can be. And it has a faint kind of fruity vanilla scent. It's not super strong. I like it. And now normally I would go do bronzer, but the bronzer I have is a powder bronzer, and the blushes, yes, blushes, there's two of them, that I'm going to use are creams. So I think I'm going to do the blushes first. And the first one is this What a Stain Staining Lip and Cheek Stick. It has one of those caps on it because, if I can get it off, it is a jelly product. I've never used one of these. I don't know if I'm going to like this or not, but I thought it would be fun to try. There are 2 shades of this. I have it in 10 Raspberry Vibes. And I guess I'll swatch it for you, even though it does stain. It is very pink, but it's a great summer pink. I don't know if I should go straight in on the cheek with this, or if I should do a brush. I'm afraid if I don't, it's going to lift the foundation, which would probably be good information for you to have. So let's just go for it. And then let's see if we can blend it, or if it all just kind of stays in one spot. Oh man. Yes, it lifted the foundation, and yes, it stayed in one spot. Darn it. Okay, on the other side, let me try putting some on the brush and then kind of dabbing into my hand and going that way. Oh, that's so much better. Okay, so don't do what I did over here. That was a mess. We're going to see if we can fix that real quick. When something goes wrong with your makeup, don't panic. A lot of times you can fix it. This is very pigmented. Be very careful. I will let you know in the show notes or on the screen or something how this wore, if it stained and lasted a really long time, or if it just caused my makeup to wear off faster. I already know that I don't like the liquid tints like the Benetint. I have an e.l.f. one that I'm going to be decluttering because kind of the same thing. It lifts the foundation, it's difficult to blend, it stays right where you put it. I don't want to work that hard for my makeup to look good because I have lots of products I don't have to work that hard for. So I don't know how I feel about that one. The other one I have though is the Soft Touch Bouncy Blush in the shade 10 Antique Bloom. I love this one. You touch it and you're like, is it a cream or is it a powder? It's just a really interesting texture, and it's a really pretty shade. It's still pink, but it's not as bubblegum pink as this was. And it's much easier to apply. I like to just take a brush, sometimes a stippling brush, but this one will work too, and just dab in there. It is a cream to powder formula, and I'm going to be really strong on blush today. But it's also going to help with the patchiness of that jelly stick thing. And then you can always take your foundation brush and tone it down a little. Because blush blindness can be fun, but nobody wants to go out looking like a clown. And now I'm going to use bronzer. This is the Soft Touch Butter Bronzer in 10 Whipped Buttercup. And this is a powder, but it's very silky feeling. Really like that. And it is light. I'm hoping that it's not too honey colored and too yellow. And it smells like the beach. I think for this one, I'm going to use my big fan brush and just dab that in. I'm actually going to use it to tone down that blush a little. I'm going under the cheeks, but I'm also kind of going over that blush to make it a little less pink. I'm also going to put it under my jawline to give a little definition there. It's not a contour, but I'm using it like one. That can kind of help hide the little jowl right there when you give it a shadow. And I am going to put it a little bit over my nose and just kind of warm up my face. That's actually not a bad shade on me. I do not like how that jelly blush emphasized the red spots on my cheek. This one doesn't do that by itself. I've been using this probably for about a month. Love it. I do have a new powder. This is the Silky Blur Translucent Loose Setting Powder. And going back to that foundation thing that I'm just confused about, we have the Silky Blur Concealer, the Silky Blur Powder. It seems like there should be a Silky Blur Foundation, and if I look it up online, I can see evidence that there is. I mean, some people have it. Maybe it's just not available in the US yet because it's not on their website, it's not on Ulta, so maybe that's coming. If you happen to know of somewhere in the US where you can get that Silky Blur Foundation, let me know because I would really like to try it. It's Silky Blur Longwear Hydrating Foundation. The Silky Blur Powder comes in one shade, 10 Translucent. And I just took the thing out. There's nothing to keep it from just kind of going everywhere. You can't close the holes at all. It doesn't have any talc. I am going to use this to set both my under eyes and the rest of my face. So I have kind of a fluffy brush. I'm just going to dip that into what was in the lid. The concealer has settled in those creases, so I'm going to tap that out and then tap that under my eyes. This eye was set. This eye was not. And now I'm going to set the rest of my face. Wow, my blush is really patchy. Okay, that helped with the foundation a little bit, but I still have polka dot pores on my nose, a little bit over here. There's some dryness like in here. I don't know. Do you ever get those feelings? It's just not going to be a very good makeup day. Usually Essence doesn't let me down this bad. I do like the concealer though. And one thing I picked up that I'm really excited about that maybe I should have just used and not tried those other things was the Radiant Light Face Palette. This was the only thing that I tried today that is over $7. And it's $10.99 for 4 pans. And I really think if you look at this, they were going straight for Hourglass. This comes in a deeper version as well. You have a highlighter, a blush lighter, blush topper, and a bronzer. And I'm going to see if I can fix my blush. That actually kind of did fill in a little of the patchiness. Okay, and I'm going to try the highlighter. Just put a little of that right there. That's a beaming highlight. I don't use highlighter a lot anymore. How about you? Are you still using highlighter, and do you like it to be really beamy or a little more understated and subtle? Let me know. I'm going to try the bronzer too up here on my forehead where I didn't put anything because I want to see the shade. It is not a glowy bronzer, but it is a nice shade on my fair skin. I've done so much to my cheeks. Oh, but I think maybe I've actually like saved it. It doesn't look great, but it doesn't look as bad as it did. I don't have an Essence eyebrow pencil, so I'm gonna go do my eyebrows and I'll be right back for eyes. Moving on to eyes, I have two things that I'm going to use for eyeshadow. And the first one is this little 4-pan palette, the Nude Edition mini eyeshadow palette. It has a nice brow bone all over shade. It has a transition crease color, a deepening shade, and then a shimmer. And I guess these 4 pans replace what they had before, which were 6 pans and a mirror. How about some swatches? These are soft and really buttery. Here's the lightest shade. The shimmer's a little pink. Then there's the mauve. Oh, that one's a little patchy, isn't it? Let's see if I can get a better swatch. Okay, that's a little better. And then the deepest one is a cool brown. Putting them on my eyes, I'm going to start with that lid shade and tap out the concealer. It was a little creased. And just use that to set the concealer and blank out whatever veining or discoloration, redness, whatever that I might have on my eyelid. There's a lot of kick up to these. So just be warned and be careful about fallout. You might want to make sure, especially with the deeper colors, that you tap them out before going in on your eyes. I'm going to use the mauve shade in the crease and transition. And there's not a ton of pigment, but sometimes, especially if you're new to eyeshadow, that can be okay because it's easier to build than it is to take away. But when it creates fallout under your eye and makes your dark circles look darker, that's not good. It's okay. I'll show you how to fix it. It's actually a really pretty shade. It's really soft and it does blend well. Just have to build it a little. I'm going to go in now with a denser shader brush and I'm just going to put a little on one side of it. And I'm going to tap that kind of along the lower lash line and out and up a little, just to use it to give a little definition. Then turning it over so that all of the pigment is on the bottom of the brush, I'm going to take it right into the crease. And I'm just placing it there right now. Shadows on the top of the brush, and then I flip it over so that it's on the bottom of the brush. And I can be more precise with where I place it. Then I'm going to take the brush that I used for that mauve shade, and I'm going to use that to blend. And I'm going to be careful not to bring the shadow down, but to keep it going out and up. And this is how I like to do eyeshadow on my hooded, downturned eyes. It gives a lift, and then it also gives dimension in the crease. But because I took that earlier shade above the crease, you can still see it when my eyes are open. And before I decide if I want to use the shimmer from this palette, let's take a look at the cream eyeshadow that I got. This one is shade 1 Rose. There are 4 shades of this. And it comes sealed, which is nice. It's not going to come all dried out. It's very creamy. Let's just put it here on the back of my hand. It's a kind of a rose gold. I think I need to use the pot shadow. So I'm just going to go in there and I'm going to tap that on the lid. Oh, that's really pretty. Yep, that's pretty. That was a good choice. And I'll let you know if it creases, you know, how it holds up. This side I want to do with my finger. I think I'll do the other side with a brush. Beautiful for a one and done type shadow. Got a flat shader brush. Pick up a little. Oh, I think I like it better with a brush. It's easier to be more precise. So this weekend was my grandson's first birthday party. We had so much fun. I can't believe he's been here a year already. Time just goes so fast, and each year it seems like it goes faster. But my daughter-in-law did an amazing job decorating the house. It was so cute. She worked so hard, and everything was just wonderful. The food was good. The kids had a good time. We all had a good time. And as the party was wrapping up, we were all sitting on the front porch just visiting. And she made a comment and we had a conversation, and it's just really stuck with me. And the comment was, I wish I could leave the chandelier up, the decorations in the living room that she had from the ceiling fan. I'll put a picture right here. It's so cute. I wish I could leave it up because it took so long to do and I really like it. And I looked at her and I said, honey, leave it up. It's your house. I am going to use a little of this gold right here. I said, if it makes you happy, there's no birthday party police that comes in and says, hey, party's over, take down all the decorations. Leave it up. And when it doesn't make you happy anymore, whether that's 2 days from now, 2 weeks from now, 2 months from now, whatever, then take it down. You're a grown-up and you can do that if you want. And then we kind of giggled, and I don't know if it's still up or not, but it made me think, how many times have we caved to what society or others expect of us and taken down something, or not decorated with something, or not worn something, or whatever, because it was what we were supposed to do? And I know there's a lot of the we don't care club. Once you hit 50, you don't care anymore. But wouldn't it have been nice to get membership in that club in your 20s and not have to spend all those years worrying about what other people thought? I wish I'd gotten inducted into the club earlier. I know that for sure. The only Essence eyeliner I have is this Stay and Play gel liner in the shade 8 Stardust Love. It's kind of a charcoal, silvery charcoal. And it's not really great for this look, but I'm going to go ahead and use it. And I'm going to scrub it right into the lash line. So let me know down in the comments if that story resonates with you, and if there's something that you did or didn't do simply because it was what was expected of you. I am, however, going to take an eyeliner brush, slanted eyeliner brush, and smudge that a little bit. I actually really like this eyeliner. It's very creamy. It is waterproof, long-lasting. So if I didn't already have 3 brown eyeliners from other companies, I might consider getting one. And I'm like trying to rub it off right now, and even though I just swatched it, it was a little difficult. So it is going to stay there. I'm going to take my puff and just try to brush away the eyeshadow that kind of got under there. And then I'm not going to add more concealer because that will get cakey. But I'm going to take just a tiny little bit of powder and do a little repair work with that. And then it's all better. So don't panic when something goes wrong. Even these cheeks of mine are starting to look a little better. For some reason, I don't have an Essence setting spray, probably because I put myself on a setting spray no-buy because I had so many of them and I refused to let myself buy new ones until I use some of them up. So to keep it in the ultra affordable family, I'm going to use the Wet n Wild Photo Focus setting spray, and it'll be fine. Whew, that's an aggressive mist. Hopefully this will kind of meld everything together a little bit. I'm going to curl my eyelashes and be right back. I got myself a new Lash Without Limits tubing mascara in black, and I just saw that they now make it in brown, and I'm getting one of those too because this is my favorite tubing mascara. Not favorite affordable tubing mascara, my favorite tubing mascara. This one has gotten a little old. I didn't realize it was July of last year that I got it, but it started getting a little flaky and it's old. So yes, it doesn't work the same as it did when it was new. And I kind of set up a rule that I was only going to keep mascaras for 6 months, but I haven't really kept to that rule. It's kind of more like a year, but I have a new one now and I love it. There's one coat and none. It's not overly wet, so it doesn't get super clumpy, and it builds on itself better than some tubing mascaras. It's also not really heavy. I tried the Milani, and it makes my lashes stick straight out. I can curl them, and as soon as I put it on, it is so heavy that the curl drops, and my lashes are just like here. This one doesn't do that. And when the day is over, it removes with warm water. All right, let's talk about lips. One thing that I got that was missing in my collection is an SPF lip balm. This is the Pout Protector SPF 20 lip balm. It has raspberry oil and shea butter to make it hydrating for your lip. And it feels really nice on the lips, and it doesn't have like a sunscreen smell or taste. So it's actually something that if I'm outside, I will wear. But it is very balmy, and so if you're going to wear it under a lipstick or something, it actually might make it so that the lipstick doesn't last as long. And I'm not actually sure what putting something over it does to the sun protection factor. But if you're looking for an SPF lip balm, I really do like this one. I have 3 of the Soft and Precise lip pencils. I have Charming, First Love, and Legendary. And I think today I'm going to use Charming. These 2 are a little bit older, but this one was just bought in December, and unfortunately all 3 of them were a little dry. So I broke the tip off, and then I sharpened them, and I got down to part of the pencil that wasn't quite so dried out. And so if you have sharpening pencils that feel like they've gotten a little dry, they're not as creamy as they once were, try that. Maybe it'll help revive them. And then this is another weird thing. This I got from Ulta. It is the Glossy Glaze High Shine Lipstick. Exactly the kind of lipsticks I am loving right now. This balmy texture, super hydrating, such a pretty color for spring and summer, but it's not on the Essence website. Let's put some on. However, on the Essence website, there is a lipstick called Get the Glaze, and maybe that's a replacement for this, or it was out first and this is a replacement for that. I don't get it. I don't understand. Okay, so let's go through this and see what products I liked and which ones I didn't, because the ones that I didn't seem to have caused a lot more problems and made it seem like there was more that I didn't like than I actually don't. I don't know if I got my negatives right in that one. The things that I absolutely did not like, the foundation stick. It does not look good. It might look okay from here, but if I zoom you in, it is dry looking in here. I have polka dot pores on my nose. It's creasing around my nose here. It's settled in wrinkles right here. Ironically, it's settled less on the side that I didn't use the blurring primer in, but it's still settled. And I had to work way too hard just to get it to look like this. So yeah, I'm not keeping this. This jelly stick, I kind of hated. I guess I should have tried it on my lips. Do you want me to? Maybe that's how I can redeem it. Oh, I don't like that either. I don't like the way that feels. It does stain. I don't like the way it tastes either. Yeah, I don't think I'm keeping that either. Let me put this back on. I liked this. I mean, if you used these 2 together, when this wore off, you'd still have some stain behind, but I'll just put my lipstick back on. Thank you very much. And then this was just okay. It wasn't terrible. It's not like I hate it. I will keep it. I will use it. I think it'd be great for traveling or like to just slip in your bag, but I don't touch up my makeup. I want to put my makeup on in the morning and not touch it again until I take it off at night. So I don't take anything with me except my lip products. I want my makeup to just last all day. And I have plenty of makeup that I can do that with, so I'm not keeping anything that I can't. But I think that this will. The only issue I have with it is that you only get 4 shades instead of 6 like in the old ones. So I don't think I'll buy any more of these because I have several of the old ones. But if you don't have those old 6 pans and you want an easy eyeshadow palette, this one can work. I do like the Silky Blur concealer and the Silky Blur powder. I think that without this powder, my face would be a disaster. It really did cover over a lot of the imperfections from that foundation stick and blurred it out. I really want to see how this works with a foundation that I actually like, because I think it's going to do really great things for some of my skin tints in the hot summer months to keep them a little more mattified, a little more blurred. And so yeah, I'm excited to use this, and I will keep you updated in future videos how this is going. Also, I'll let you know if I had any excessive creasing or wear off or bunching or anything like that. Again, in the show notes, or I'll just put something on the screen. The Soft Touch Bronzer and the Soft Touch Bouncy Blush. I like both of these. I think it's interesting that they're both called Soft Touch, but that this one is a cream to powder and this one's just a powder. But yeah, I like the shades and I like the performance of both of these. When this doesn't have that jelly tint thing underneath it, it is a beautiful blush. It's a great shade for every day in the spring and summer, and I use it a lot. And I think I'll get a lot of use out of the bronzer as well. Also on eyes, I do really like this. I think it is super pretty. And I can see putting a little bronzer and then swiping this over the lid and having a really quick, easy, everyday, get out the door kind of makeup look. So I will be using this for sure. I've been using the hydrating primer a lot. I like it. I don't really have dry skin. Often I will use it on the outer portion of my face and then do a blurring mattifying primer down the center of my face. I am interested to try this on its own and not over so many layers like I had today. I think this is really pretty and it would make a great travel palette. Got everything you need in this one thing right here. And I'll update in a future video after I've had time to play with it. But my initial impression was, yes, I like this. And this Glossy Glaze High Shine Lipstick, I really like it. I don't know why it's not on the website. If anybody knows what's going on with Essence, let me know. And like I said, if you know where you can get that Silky Blur Foundation, let me know because I would like to complete my set. And while I came into this video thinking I was going to declutter 3 Essence lip liners, I actually figured out a way to save them. So I'm excited I don't have to throw them away because I really do like these shades. Let me know down in the comments below, what is your favorite Essence product? Or was there anything I tried today that you think you might like to check out? If you've got a little bit more time and you want to hang out with me some more, I'll let YouTube suggest a video you might like right over here. Otherwise, do all the things and I will see you in the next one. God bless. Bye-bye.